100.1 WHPR, Highland Park.
It ain't hit. It ain't hit. 1, 2, 3.
Why am I there? I want to search.
Y'all ready?
That's it. Let's get it.
All right, you're live.
Let the words of our mouth and the meditation of our heart be acceptable in our sight. O Lord, our strength, our Redeemer. So be it.
What's happening, party people? Welcome to the ride. I know y'all sitting out there in that traffic. I was sitting out there a few minutes ago, but welcome to it. This is DR2020. We are the mentors you didn't know you had. We hope to say something that sparks a thought, that ignites some action, that will start a good habit. We're here to talk about the things that you want to talk about the way you're going to talk about them. Welcome to it. My name is Damien L. Butler. I'm the D.
And my name is Roc Wilder. I'm the R.
We're going to bring it to you simple and plain. My man Rock told me as we walked in, we're going to teach you things that ego never taught you.
Got to, man.
We're going to break it down, make it simple. Check in with us. Let us know what you think. You want to tell us something? Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Instagram. Twitter is DR_20 TWENTY. Give us your feedback. Chime in. Let us know. Let us know we're not talking to ourselves.
Give me that IG.
The IG is DR20 TWE. Let me start that over. DRTWENTY 20.
Yep.
Hit us in the DMs. Hit us in the chats. Let us know what's going on.
All right, what we getting into today, brother?
We got to
Hey, being that this is the first one, this is, yeah, no doubt. Let's do some intros because this is the first episode, and real talk, I want to give the people a reason, like, why they need to be listening to us. Like, who are these guys? Like, why we gotta listen to y'all? What make y'all so special to teach leadership?
Now, don't be mistaken by the gray hair. I'm not as old as I might look, but I got a few lessons I can teach you. You know, DR2020 is basically 20 years of parenting. 20 years, almost 20 years of marriage, and over 20 years of service. So we're going to bring all of that experience and tie it into being 20 times 2 of living in this world as black men.
For sure. But going a little bit more detail about yourself, though, for real. Like, I think this is the right time to give credentials. You know, like a lot of people want to shy away from, like, you know, I ain't going to read off my resume, this, that, and another. But to me, I look at it as important. I feel that it's important because people need to know. Look, let people sing your praises. I get it. But once again, you don't go to a doctor without checking out their credentials. You don't go to a dentist. You don't go nowhere without checking out their credentials unless you're getting a hookup.
True indeed.
The shady tree mechanic. And then you like, yeah, all right, I don't care what his credentials is because he about to give me the hookup.
We're definitely not that.
All right, so, I mean, let's hear, who are you? Who is Damien? What makes you?
Well, since you asked, I am a husband, a father of 2 daughters, and a professional educator.
Salute.
I pride myself on being a developer of young leaders, and I try to focus on the community that does not get heard as much as they should. You know, I want to develop as many leaders as possible, no matter what you look like, black, white, polka dot, and whatnot. But my focus is to develop people that can lead and help others get things done. But I'm not here alone.
No, of
Who
course.
is this man next to me who's driving this train?
Well, I'm going to tell you, man, like, look, this is the time, once again, that we need to let people know who we are. Because I think I was talking to you yesterday, and I was saying, people only know one aspect of you. And they assume they know the whole you. When there's a vast amount of knowledge and wisdom that comes in a package that is you over the years. So say for instance, born and raised native Detroiter, east side through and through, right? Served military service 20 plus years of retirement. And now here's the deal. You and I both did that. That's nothing to shake a stick at. Call it what it is. You got two black men that was born and raised in the inner city, went off to the military. We didn't die. Can we come on, man?
True.
We got to say these things.
I'm here.
How did you make it? See, as we go further, we're going to be able to share with somebody, like, how did you make it through a career successfully with an honorable discharge and drew a retirement? Somebody need to know that. So we going to share that with them.
Yeah,
this is why I'm so pressed on letting people know who we are. Now, with that being said, you served Air Force and Army.
Right.
Matter of fact, Air Force, Army Reserve, and Army.
Yes.
We gotta say that. Now, I've served Marine Corps, Army, Army Reserve, Army National Guard. As a matter of fact, I did 3 National Guards: Virginia, North Carolina, and Michigan.
We were in the Virginia Guard together then.
We were? Oh,
I
okay.
was in the Virginia Air National Guard.
See, fly boy. But with that being said, once again, this is important. You know how many people out there, young black men and women, that struggle to get into the military, but they don't know who to ask. They fall prey to anybody who would give them some advice, especially a recruiter, and then next thing you know, they're in a situation they don't want to be in. Now, can't nobody never say that we don't know nobody. We don't know nobody to advise my baby on how we gonna do this military thing.
We are the mentors you didn't
Come on
know
now.
you had.
See what I mean? Now, Marine Corps and all the other branches, right? Honorably served, ordained minister of the gospel. Real talk. And you're like, what minister look like this dude? Yeah, well, gotta use anybody on the...
You
God,
Jonah.
hey, come on, man. God can use anybody. As long as you ain't thinking too high of yourself, he gonna take the small. And if you do think too high of yourself and God wanna use you, he gonna knock you down a little bit. Then he gonna use you and he gonna get all the glory. So that's just real talk. That's the kind of guy I am. Married, going on 20 years. Husband, that's a blessing in and of itself. That's an anomaly. How many black men can walk around and say they've been married to the same woman going on 20 years and to past 20 years? That number is few. Shouldn't be. It's a sad reality, but it's the truth. And you know what? We're here so we can possibly help that thing. We need to help that percentage of black men that are faithful to their women, to black women, and to grow and increase the black family. And now it's not just only about the black family. That's for any man that especially wants to be a leader in their own household and you know, be the man that's there in that situation. A father of 4, okay? 1 son, 3 daughters. That's a lot of work. That is a lot of work.
Oh man.
Son's 20, going on 24 years old. Daughters, two daughters that's in college and 1 daughter that's a sophomore in high school. That's work. You the same thing. Daughter in college, you got a daughter in high school. How do you maintain that? I mean, because we're going to get into it, but the fact that, you know what, nobody's coming up pregnant, the fact that nobody's stripping on the pole, the fact that nobody's being abducted and raped and sold into doggone sex slavery, how much energy does that take as a leader of your household? These are the things that we got to talk about. So I wanted to be clear that when people hear us talk, we just not bloviating. We just not speaking stuff off the top of our head. So a lot of what we going to say going to be old school. A lot of what we going to say going to shake people in their boots, and they need to. A lot of what we say is going to challenge people to their core, and it's supposed to. But a lot of what we say is going to encourage, is going to increase the wisdom of the individual to make them say, you know what, be it man, woman, or child, let me become a better person. And at the end of the day, let my leader become great. Because your leader and leadership in all its forms, guess what? It will benefit everybody. So that's why it's important that who we are. So if we had to toot our horn and beat our chest and pat our own self on the back to get the point across, that's what it need to be. Because usually what we're doing now, we don't look at the black man as like, oh, there go the black man in the community. That's a somebody. What they want, what society wants to see now is either you're an entertainer, either you're an athlete, either you're a politician, or you're a pastor. You're some type of clergy member. These are the positions that we hold in high esteem. Versus just saying, like, what? You a military veteran, a husband going on 20 years? Like, we got to stop taking that for granted. That's not to be taken for granted. That means something. And when we get back there, that leader, oh, man, come on, man. What can we do?
We're going to take it there. We're going to talk about the mistakes, the highs, the lows. 20 years is not 20 years of perfection, let me tell you that. So it's trying to be, humble and just and keep quiet and just drive on. Leadership is about influence. So we got to influence some change, influence some opportunities, and help people get to where they want to be. Right. So we're going to address those issues. We're going to bring them up and ask questions, because we have some ideas of our own, but we're going to need to make sure that we're hitting where we need to hit. And it's a lot of times I just kind of sit back and go for the journey and do what I have to do. But it's important to recognize it wasn't easy. It's not easy.
Right.
It doesn't get easier. It's just you just gotta stay committed. And I'm gonna tell you, I am not perfect. And 20 years is an accomplishment. Now I'm blessed to have it, but I'm not married to myself, so I gotta give it up to my wife for all her patience and forgiveness and the lessons that my daughters learn, and they hear me talk about, and all that kind of stuff is, being a leader, you got to understand the people around you. I talk about leadership all the time, and there's 3 skills that a leader must have.
Can I do this first before you jump into that?
What's that?
I was thinking about it the whole week. But I just wanted to get just a couple of, just shout outs to a couple of people. Just for just making things happen. First and foremost, God. I mean, look, I look at it like this. Like, you was pumping me up this week. I was getting pumped up. Like, I was looking at one of your posts, and one of your posts you was talking about, I spoke this, I spoke that. I'm big on, like, speaking things into existence. And this isn't, I don't take this, what we're doing right now, this isn't like, I don't take it for granted. This is serious. This is serious business. Like, to work a passion, and knowing you, for the time that I've known you, leadership has always been at the forefront of, like, who you are. You're always ready to teach and show somebody something and, bring somebody along in a way. And I'm like, wow. So I'm probably more excited for you right about now, because once again, this is something that's been on your mind. Like, you want it to develop, and that kind of energy and that space to be connected to is huge for me. So kudos to you, man. Shout out to Colette. Shout out to Colette Ramsey, man, for being a visionary and looking out for you and I. Okay, she looked out, and be it directly, indirectly, she's always teaching lessons and making some things happen. So big shout out to Colette. Second, to my guy, big shout out to David Bullock, the Reverend David Alexander Bullock. That's my guy. Basically, as far as the Detroit area, he's like my first taste into media. So I gotta give a shout out to him. He was like, look, I'm gonna tell you something.
Salute to the pastor.
Absolutely. Like, I connected with him and was like, hey, look, can I just come into your space and see how you do what you do? In this world, man, and in this city isn't so welcoming. I'm gonna keep it 100. You know me. It isn't so welcoming. People just aren't. People are not just quick to let you in their space. But through the grace of God, that man was like, all right, come through. And you probably saw me. I didn't say anything. I was off in the corner, watching, feeding, soaking it all up. But he did that for me. And through that, a relationship began to build. And I was increasing in what I know to do now. So I can't just, I'm not going to blow him off. That's my guy. And I appreciate him for it. So that seed and people doing this is what's making this moment happen. And I just want to make sure I gave him a shout out, bro.
Well, that's major, because those 3 points are, you got to be able to communicate.
Yeah.
If you can't speak to people and ask for what you want, tell them what you need, or be able to give and take and verbally, you're not gonna get anything done. You got to be able to build relationships.
Right.
And you know, the relationships you build with Colette, with Pastor Bullock, you and I, what we, you know, have been able to build outside, you know, of working and speaking, and, you know, the relationships are going to bring guests on, it's going to bring new information, it's going to help some people out, get out of situations, start businesses. Those are important.
Yeah.
And then we have to be accountable to those processes. You know what I'm saying? We can't just take from that communication, take from those relationships and do our own thing. We got to give back. So the ability to communicate, the ability to build a relationship, and our ability to be accountable is going to make a difference in the lives of the people we touch.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to make a difference in the lives of the people that hear our voices. You know, and this is a platform and an opportunity that has really come out of just talking and speaking things into existence. I mean, when we were in the office, you know, late nights, you know, 8, 9 o'clock at night, it's like, okay, it's time to go home. It's time to go home. But wait, one more thing.
Right.
See, you got 3 wise men sitting in a room with nothing but energy and trying to figure out where we're gonna put this energy. So those conversations, you know, they took a while, but everybody got something from it. I mean, we talk about the accomplishments that we have. You know, we just watched our brother retire Command Sergeant Major, and he told us he was gonna do it.
Yeah.
When we met him, hey, look here, I'm just doing what I got to do. I'm gonna make Sergeant Major. I'm gonna do this, and I'm out.
Big shout out to Sergeant Major.
And he did what he had to do. He made Sergeant Major. He did that, and he got out.
Yeah.
And he's good for life.
Oh yeah, he good for life.
Yeah.
I mean, he on some other. I talked to him the other day. He on some his trajectory and his growth. You ain't seen nothing yet. Like, dude getting ready to. He got some stuff cooking.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. He wasn't one to sit still. So it's you know, this is just this moment here has been brewing for a little while.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the thing is, and that's why I said I'm excited for you as well, because I remember hearing like about your venture, you know, before you even got out of the military, and it was the same with me, but I felt like I started late, but you were like already influencing and teaching and reaching out to people in your community, you know, and when I say your community, as far as the education realm, and you knew, you know what, I'm going to transition into this. And, you know, we just linked up and our moms was like, hey, look, we can, you know, grow together. Let's sharpen each other and let's make an impact. And I was like, you know what? That's what's up. That's what's up. Because what we plan to do with this type of podcast is to break down a lot of stigmas that people have as it pertains to relating with one another. And it, believe it or not, it takes a leader to start relationships and cultivate relationships. Like, that's leadership in and of itself. Okay? Yeah. And, you know, and along the way, address issues that's going to arise. I was about to say that may arise. Ain't no may to it. They're going to arise.
If, when.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's crazy is, like you said, you know, us teamed up with our brothers, you know, we made things happen. I mean, we were running on high cylinders then, and I expect the same thing now. And the cool thing is that we're in our own space where we control our own viewpoint. Yeah. We control the narrative. Yeah. See what I mean? And man, it's about to be on the cracking, dog. This is about to be hot.
The limitations are a few. I mean, before we had, you know, when we met, when we're doing, I call it corporate. You know, it's not corporate America, but it was as an officer.
Okay.
I had a different kind of. I had to do things a little bit different than the non-commissioned officer. So
right.
In my corporate world, I had to kind of be quiet sometimes, but now I get to say a little bit more and highlight some things, and like I call some people out that need to be called out, and as I call people out, I still have to come up with some kind of solution and lead the conversation. So this is gonna be fun.
No, it's gonna be fun. It's definitely gonna be fun. It's I'm gonna let people know. Look, it's gonna be like we said, it's gonna be challenging to the spirit. It's gonna be challenging to the soul because
it might get raw.
Well, no, ain't no might. It's coming. It's gonna happen because one of the things I think what we fail to do as leaders is to address matters. And I think with this, and one of our taglines for what we do and who we are, we say we're the new voices. And I really relish that due to the fact that things have to change. Change happens. And in change, your leaders change. Can we just be honest?
Yeah.
How people receive information changes. So I think, you have to be agile and flexible as a leader to be able to connect with people. Like everybody's not gonna look the same.
Right.
Like here I am. Like I told you before, I got my fitted cap. I'm tatted up.
And you're a preacher.
And I'm a preacher. But if we don't accept a new thing,
Right.
now I'm not saying just accept foolishness. I'm not saying that. But if it's tried and true, if it's just, if it's honest, if it's pure, and it has good intention, you might want to give ear to it.
That's it.
And I believe that's what we bring. And because I'm gonna say it like this: there's many of people that I've come across that's not trying to hear anything new. And I mean, these are leaders. See, I'm already getting raw. These are leaders, be it in the community, be it in the nation, that they're not ready to hear or welcome any something in new. And guess what? That something new is you. Think about it. You're getting ready to disrupt and kind of, because everything can't be what you received from the fathers, from the ancestors, from the elders. Whatever happened to ingenuity, whatever happened to God ideas, whatever happened to vision.
Listen.
Because why would you tear down something that God? It's possible God's giving you something that He's not giving anybody prior to you.
Come on,
Come on.
I'm
just being honest.
We need to let people need to know. See, what's happening is we get caught up in it has to look a certain way. If
right.
It's not, what's the saying? The person you were yesterday, you're not going to go into tomorrow being the person you were yesterday.
Right.
So you got to change up. You got to recognize what's coming, and you got to understand. And when you don't understand it, you need to get with somebody that can help you understand.
Right.
We are the mentors you didn't know you had.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of being able to communicate and get to the point. Ask the question and get to the point. And ask another question and get to a new point and keep pushing further. Continual lifelong learning. And it's to get out of the space that you're in, you got to do something different.
Yeah.
To get something you've never had, as I was listening to Denzel Washington, the way he says it so eloquently,
okay.
To get something you've never had.
Can you do it with the Denzel voice?
Listen. To get something you've never had, you have to do something you never did.
Right.
Now, I say it different, but he says do something you never did. So it's about changing up and figuring out what's going to get. Nothing happens in the comfort zone.
Ooh,
if you have a dog,
unpack that.
If you have a dog, and his most comfortable spot is in the backyard,
yeah.
What's wrong with that spot? It's in your lawn has a big dirt spot in it because the dog gets very comfortable and nothing grows in the comfort zone.
Yeah.
How do you boil a frog? Very slowly. You make it comfortable. You put it in the water, you turn the heat up a little bit, and it's comfortable. By the time it realizes it's hot, the frog is dead. So comfort is the shortcut to death.
Yeah.
So we got to get uncomfortable in this process and look at things differently and flip it over and see what else is going on. Because if we get stuck in how it's always been done, we'll always get the same result. And then we wonder why we got so much anxiety, depression, and insanity. That's the definition.
Right.
The common definition. I always looked it up, and the definition of insanity is not doing the same thing, expecting a different result.
Right.
But that is how that drive ourselves crazy. So we got to do something different. We got to come and try. We're not going to succeed in everything we do.
Right.
But if we stick and get stuck in doing it the way we've always done it, how are things going to change?
Yeah.
How are things going to change?
Yeah. Like you're challenging me here, or you're stirring something up in me, because I was reading my book. My Martin Luther King book, talking about the radical king, you know, a viewpoint and a perspective of Martin Luther King that many we forgot about, or we don't want to know about.
We don't hear about it on the second Monday of January.
Yeah,
we don't talk about that Martin Luther King.
They want to talk about that Martin Luther King. Now, one of the things you were talking about, you know, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You know, Martin Luther King being a, you know, coming from a lineage of ministers, of Baptist preachers, you know, became one himself. And, you know, this man was tasked with the duty. And when I say tasked, he was tasked from on high. Real talk. Because his father, who was a Baptist minister, he didn't task him. You see what I mean? And Martin Luther King said he remembered having a conversation with his dad about this new way he's talking about going and liberating the people and having discussions and fighting for justice and, you know, social justice and things of that nature. And Martin Luther King was getting heat. Seriously. And his dad was very aware. I mean, come on now. I mean, he came up during an era in which, you know, the extreme radical white supremacy was, you know, was at large, okay? So his dad knew what the consequences could be. And his dad was kind of cautioning Martin Luther King Jr. about, you know, watch how you move and manage your steps. So almost to the point of, do you have to do this now?
If not now, when?
See my point? And a leader, when we move to make things. I made a post saying, leaders are ordinary people who do what needs to be done to solve problems. Ordinary people. People who will just say, hey, you know what? This is an issue. Let's address it.
Yeah.
Let's address it. And guess what? Are we going to address it even when it's not comfortable? To me, in my opinion, that is the telltale sign of a leader. Because if you ain't been tested or tried, you just a leader in title. Somebody to just, you apply for a position, filled out an application, interview for a job, and they told you, you know what, you're a type of supervisor. But let things get hairy. When your leader gets tested, now you're worth your salt.
Oh yeah.
Let's just be honest about it. Now you're worth your salt.
So
And that can come in any shape or form. And what I mean by that, especially by us being in the military, probably the most ultimate test is for us is to see combat, right?
Right.
But, and you know this just as well as I do, every day was a challenge. If it wasn't a challenge with personnel, if it wasn't a challenge with equipment, if it wasn't a challenge with your peers or your subordinates or your supervisors, every day was a challenge. Anything from sexual harassment, anything from racial issues, anything. These things happened in the military, and we as leaders, we was charged with the responsibility to have the know-how and to use our wisdom and our and policies and procedures that was in place to address those issues. And guess what? Not run away from them. I don't want to get too ahead of myself because I can give
that's
a lot of stories.
Because I mean, the military is a unique place.
Yeah,
it's a very unique place, and you have, you know, basically, officers are the ones that are in charge and responsible, but non-commissioned officers, NCOs, do all the work. NCOs and soldiers, and so you have.
Do we do all the work?
Somebody's doing it because I didn't do it. No, we worked hard, but you come in at the way it's structured. You get a 23-year-old lieutenant coming in telling a 30-year-old NCO what to do and how to do.
Right.
The test is, who are you to come in here and tell me something when you don't know half of what I know? Okay. So you got to build a relationship. But the test of any platoon leader or commander is when they go from the LT to my LT. When you build that bond and your soldiers claim you, when your soldiers look out for you, when people are ready to protect you and put their neck out for you, you're supposed to be doing all this for them first. And that's how they decide that they're going to bring you in. So as a leader, you got to connect. You gotta go in to when things get hairy for somebody else. It's definitely not about me, because I shine when my soldiers shine.
Right.
Leaders shine when their subordinates are getting things done. Martin Luther King, is revered as as this savior, as this guy, because of what he did for the people. So it's all about getting things done for somebody else and growing from being recognized as you saying who you are, or just being the leader for somebody claiming you as a leader.
See, now you talking about servant leadership, nah.
That's all leadership ever is. I mean, Robert Greenberg made millions. Okay, I appreciate it. I'm mad I didn't think about it, because that's all leadership is. It's not about I can't do anything. I'm not a good leader if I take all the credit. I take all the blame and I give all the credit. It wasn't me. I just told the people what to do, and they went out and did it. Okay. Now, if something was done wrong, I didn't tell them properly. I didn't give them the proper directions. They missed something, and it's not. I mean, it's one thing for them to go out and do something blatantly wrong and just do it because they didn't feel like it. But it's another thing when they fall short because they didn't have all of the necessary resources. They didn't have whatever they need. It's my job as a leader to provide that.
Let's stay in this space real quick, in the servant leadership space. And I don't know if we was gonna hit a topic like this quick, or because that can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. Okay, because we're coming from a space where ultimate responsibility, ultimate accountability was a must.
Right.
Like, anytime on the spot, you can be questioned about your participation and your activity in managing, commanding, this line of event. Like, what's going on today? Like, if it's the rifle range, I don't care if it was getting them from one point of base to the next, if it was lining up, military vehicle, whatever it is. Ultimate accountability always fell on whoever was the guiding supervisor of that exercise, if you will. But with that being said, in trying to get something done and trying to accomplish things, how do you explain servant leadership to a civilian point, to a civilian point of view?
See, most people that I've seen is like, especially as subordinates, they're like, well, I should be the boss because he don't know how to do my job. But the leader's role is not to do your job. He doesn't have to know how to do everybody's job in the shop. Like, I was a finance officer in the Army.
Okay.
So I was responsible for money, but nobody gave me money. They gave it to my soldiers, and my soldiers gave it to me. So I didn't even see the customer. I just dealt with the end result. So I don't have to know how to be a cashier to accept money in. I just got to know that the money has to come in properly. I have to know the big picture.
Right.
I have to be able to get that big picture from the person who tells me what to do to the people I tell what to do. So when we go back and forth and leader, as a servant leader, civilians look at it as like, well, you're in charge and you know everything. I don't know everything. I have to build a relationship and be accountable to a process so people understand that I'm here to help you get to the next level. Because if you don't shine, I don't shine. When you fail, I fail. So I have to be able to be in a position to
Okay, stop right there. Now, are you saying that from your military
I'm saying
experience?
It as a leader, period.
I can tell you.
As a parent. I'm saying that as a husband. The stupid things that I do reflect on my wife.
Right, I got you. You're speaking for you, and that's that major accountability piece. But what I'm saying is, I can tell you in this civilian, I've been a civilian a little longer than you. So, so what I'm getting at, I'm saying this. People don't see it that way in the civilian world all the time. You will have people in the civilian, matter of fact, even the military, in a lot of ways, in certain arenas, kind of transferred over to that. When I came into the Army, this is just real talk. When I came in the Army, this saying right here used to make me sick to my stomach. I would see non-commissioned officers say to junior enlisted, "That's on you." I was like, "What? What did you just say? What did you just tell this private? That's on you? If you don't accomplish this, or you don't get this, or you don't do this right, as a leader, I'm telling you, well, that's on you. And basically what you're saying is, whatever happened to you, happened to you. You get in trouble, you get in trouble.
No, that's still
it's
it.
not going to be on me.
That's still in the Army. I talked to my nephew yesterday. He's struggling in the area right now, and he was like, I need some help. So he called me, Unc, what's up? Hey, we had a conversation. I'm like, it sounded like to me that you doing this. He said, no, I just, I got hurt and I'm coming back.
Right.
I was like, bet. So you just need to work. Get with your NCOs. And
Right.
this was a text conversation, so everything I was thinking didn't come out. He didn't hear my thoughts.
Right.
I had to read it and then kind of clean it up. But I was like, man, you need to find a non-commissioned officer and make him do his job. And I was like, no, don't say that to him, because he'll go and he's a little bit older than the average private, so he's he might be the same age as some of his NCOs.
Right.
So he may say something the wrong way and get himself in trouble, and I don't want that to happen. But he told me he did find he did find an NCO that's going to take some time and give him some tricks of trade to help him get over this hump. And I was like, that's the key. It's leaders you have to provide a path.
And
that's your job. You ahead of the pack.
Right. And for those who don't know, it's a commissioned officer is like they come in a variety of flavors, but let's just say a commissioned officer can start let's use McDonald's as an example.
I started on fries.
Well, yeah.
I started on fries.
Right. But we're trying to explain what a commissioned officer is, though. So say a commissioned officer is a junior level manager.
Okay.
So say if you went to college, you got your business degree, but yet you wanted to work at McDonald's, you can come into McDonald's as a junior level manager, like a junior manager program. Like
night shift leader?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Now here's the deal. In a non-commissioned officer is somebody who can come in as a fry cook, cash register, drive through. Well, excuse me, not a non-commissioned officer. An enlisted soldier. Let me say it like that. Okay. An enlisted soldier is someone who can come in at the very bottom level. A commissioned officer is somebody, even if they come in as a junior level manager, they came in on a junior level, but they're in a position of leadership, of management leadership. That's fair.
Yeah, they went up. Now they run the crew. They run the instead of being on the drive-through, they run the drive-through. Right. So now, an enlisted soldier, you have a maturation process into a non-commissioned officer. So you start off as junior enlisted, then you get promoted and you go up. So when people are talking, so say for instance, Damien started off as enlisted and moved up into commissioned officership, whereas I came in enlisted and moved my way through into senior non-commissioned officer position. So we share the same waters, but yet there's a difference. So a lot of times when you hear us speak, you're going to hear a bold and honest viewpoint that is similar in leadership, but different.
That has differences. But and the beauty of it is that we're going to show people, regardless if we agree on everything, we tracking.
Get the job done.
Yeah, we tracking.
We're gonna get the job done.
And that's, to me, that's highly important. And I think a lot of times we're missing that. I hope I ain't getting off too far, but we're missing that in today's society, because here it is. The moment if I don't think like you, we really don't want nothing to do with you. Seriously. If what you're saying don't fit well with what I'm doing, I really don't want to be bothered with you. It's pleasantries, hi and bye, this is that and another. And I'm not saying don't let nobody take you off your square or pull you off your calling, or you know what I'm saying, or take you off your purpose. I'm not saying that. But in the same token, we've become deaf. Okay? We've become deaf. We walk around literally with our fingers in our ears because we don't even want to listen to people no more. And what I'm saying is we're really missing out on who new leaders are.
But see, that's the beauty of a real leader. See, one of the things I tell people all the time, leadership is making people think what they're doing is their idea.
I wish you would have said that a little harder. I like how you said it. No, not that part. You said the beauty. That's the beauty of a real leader. I wish you would have said that a little more tougher, like, and that's the problem.
Well, I mean, look.
No, that's what's up.
You have to get some things done.
Right.
As a leader, like I said, you're out front, you're blazing the trail. It's not, you can't go. A leader is not going in the woods, walking down the plat and pulling the leaves back behind him so it doesn't show that he went that way. A leader is going to blaze a trail, and then he's going to come back and get you and show you how to get down that trail. This is what I did to get down the trail. A leader is a teacher. A leader is a communicator. A leader is a relationship builder.
Right.
Those three things I keep talking about: communication, relationship, and accountability. A leader is that. When you don't have that, see, we're too singular in wanting to be the man, wanting to be number one. Number one, if you only have one of something, you have a problem. You need multiple. You need other things to get things done. If you have one match and you got to start a fire, you in trouble. Because when that match don't strike, what you gonna do now?
Can I ask you this? How do you, what you just said, and we're talking about servant leadership, how do you implement that in the Butler household? Because this, especially when it comes to servant leadership, because let me say this. First off, the first place that you're a leader is in your own space.
Is at home.
Really, if you want to be even more technical, you lead your doggone self.
Yeah.
Lead your doggone self first. And I know, and I'm going to say it like this, I know that's challenging for a lot of people. And I know people think they got it together when it even comes to them. Because we're quick to talk about what somebody else should be doing and how somebody else should be doing it and where you should go. And when you really take an account for your own life,
lead by example.
You like, but
lead by example is lost.
Come on, man. Because ain't nobody out here like the new voices to hold people accountable.
Because see, it's singing, I'm the man. Can't nobody tell me nothing. That's the hottest song. Can't nobody tell me nothing. So, okay, fine. Go down that path with your one horse.
Right.
When that one horse die, you on your leg. When you sprain that one ankle, what you got? You need multiples. Leaders are supposed to multiply leaders.
Right.
If you're with the leader and you're not being fed and you're not growing, you need to find someone else. Because they're not serving you well. Then the whole process of leadership is to, the Army definition, provide purpose, direction, motivation, while improving the unit and while achieving the mission and improving the organization. That's it right there, 622, right? Provide purpose, direction, and motivation. I'm teaching you something. This is why we're doing it. This is how we do it, and this is why. Come on, give me. This is why we do it. Give me rah. I make my class on Monday mornings. Clap it up for Mondays. We clapping it up for Mondays. Get out of this sleep. It's Monday morning at 7 o'clock. Yes, and you're in school. You got work to do. Clap it up for Mondays. Clap it up because you got two hands to clap it up with.
That's what's up.
Clap with one hand. Give me a one hand clap right now. No, see, we need somebody else to get that one hand clap. We need. It's not about me being the number one and only one.
Okay.
A leader has to go out and find other people, because if you're a leader and you have no one following you,
say that again.
You're not a leader.
I don't know about that. Our first disagreement.
How you? Who are you?
Our first disagreement.
Who are you rubbing off on? Who are you sewing into?
Let me say it like this. I thoroughly agree with the first part of that statement. You're a leader. Go out, find some people. I thoroughly agree with that, because I believe that's a lost art too these days. Because like you say, the team of one. We like, hey, look, we just like, we treat leadership like the field of dreams. You build it and they'll come. Like, we just figure, I'll just do me and people will just flock around me. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, my ultimate example in life is Jesus Christ. For me, my ultimate example, and my thing is, he ain't just do that. People came to him, but he went out and recruited a squad.
And he was the ultimate servant
Real
leader.
talk. And people, we always hear about the 12 disciples, but you got to understand, there's way more disciples than that.
Right.
He was sending cats out 2 by 2. Come on now. So way more. We talking about 70 and above.
Why was he sending them 2 by 2?
Oh, that's a whole nother lesson for another day. But my point.
Because one is not enough.
I get that. But then we gonna open up a whole nother can of worms. But what I'm saying is, this matter of go get people highly underperformed. Like we don't want to take the time to exercise our leader. Because you know what I really think it is? I just really feel our leader is going to get challenged. Because I'm trying not to, but I'm just going to go to the Bible real quick on this one. Just remember the story when Jesus went after Peter and, Bartholomew and all them guys. They was doing stuff. They had jobs.
Right.
They was giving Jesus flack. Like, hey, man, got stuff I got to do. So the point is, Jesus giving them his sales pitch, giving them his little spiel, if you will, recruiting cats. That's a lost art amongst a lot of us because it challenges your leader, and once again, it may even expose you. Okay, so now, but with that being said, then the other part you said was, if someone's not following you, you're not a leader. Am I getting it?
If you're not, if you're walking through the woods by yourself,
yeah,
you're not a leader.
Yeah, and this is where I disagree, and it might be a mild disagreement because there's nothing wrong with quantifying things. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, but on some levels, we do damage to ourselves by wanting that quantifier. So what I mean by that is, if you're setting example, so say for instance you got a single black man that lives in your neighborhood. Say he's a physician, right? Mm-hmm. Outstanding citizen, volunteers, looks out for the community. He ain't got no family. He's not married. He go to work, go to church, come home. Is that a leader or no?
You said he's serving the community.
He serves the community, absolutely.
As a doctor?
No. Like, say if anything comes up, like in the community, like, hey, so look.
He's there serving.
Like, I'm on a neighborhood watch, or guess what? Miss Johnson,
So is
she coming up to the...
Is he influencing other people by his service?
And I'm going to say yes.
Then he's a leader.
Right, but who's following them?
The people that he influences.
You're making an assumption.
No.
No.
As long as you influence somebody, but as long as you touch somebody and help somebody,
but that doesn't mean they're following them. He's serving them. So that's why...
But the service is influence.
Right, but they're not following them.
Leadership, I'm a big
but
John
you get my point, though. You get my point, though.
I get he's by himself.
Right.
He doesn't have a large organization.
Nope.
He doesn't have a super title.
Nope.
But he's serving.
Watch this. He ain't even mentoring no kids.
Well, then what service is he providing?
I just told you. He's in the community. He's replicable. The people acknowledge him as being a
What's
man.
He doing
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. People acknowledge him being in the community. He helps out people when he get a chance. If somebody like car broke down and he can help them fix their car. I'm saying, I'm kind of going old school. I'm talking about some of the men, right? Like how men were when I was coming up as a kid.
I mean, he may not be the most influential leader in the community.
All right then. So that's what I'm saying. That doesn't disqualify him as being a leader because his example
but he's still
of what a man should be. Right, but nobody's following him. Nobody's coming up to that dude house like, yo, I want to sit and be in your space and I want to do what you do. And can you
said
teach
he had
me?
To be a guru to be a leader.
Right, but you said if no one's following you.
But they are following him. His service is drawing people to him.
That's not following.
But it's still a connection.
Okay, but I'm taking it literal what you said. I'm taking it literal what you said. You said if they're not following them.
Well, we ain't walking in the woods right now, but there's people following us.
Right, so that's my point.
But it's about the
quantifier in this day and age, especially with likes and hearts and follows.
I'm gonna take my 500 followers and we're gonna have a good time.
What up, y'all? You get my point. I wanted to make that clear. There's people, once again, there's people who could argue, they wouldn't be right, but they argue and say, how are y'all leaders? Leaders of what? What are you leading? That's my point. So I got to be a pastor to be a leader?
Leadership is not a title.
But I just wanted to make it clear that
it's
just
not
because
a title.
You ain't got nobody following you doesn't make you not a leader.
If you're not, okay, let me clarify following. if you're not connecting yourself to somebody, if you don't have a circle, if you don't have somebody that you sit down with, right now it's just me and you. We're leading each other.
For sure.
This is perpetual motion.
For sure.
You know, as you know, we'll get to that in a minute. I was about to jump a segment. We got a few more minutes before we get to that. But it takes you and somebody else. You have to connect with somebody else to make a difference. And your leadership impact doesn't have to be grand. You know what I mean? Everybody doesn't have to be Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got the guy in the neighborhood, the old man on the corner who knows where everything is, who knows how to fix the car. Everybody's going to him. He draws people in.
Yep.
That's leadership. That attraction, that ability to build a relationship.
Maybe they just want their car fixed.
He's a leader in the car fixing industry. I mean, look, man, there's leaders everywhere. Everybody, the president. Our president is not a leader, okay? So you take that title. The man is a clown.
You already going there?
I will say it right here. You want me to say it loud?
You already going there?
Let me straighten up the microphone. I said it. I say it again. Leadership is not a title. You got to be able to influence people properly. Now, okay, that's my opinion. It's not. I can't back it up with facts.
Okay.
He is the leader of the free world, but he's not putting forth. He's not making a positive influence in the world. And if you can, we can argue all day. You and I won't because we agree. But I'll argue with anybody all day that you got to do good things. Good people have to fight what's going on.
I like that. I like that.
It's a matter of service.
Right,
it's constant service
right.
and doing things and connecting to people. That is not always. You don't always see the bus driver. Your bus driver is a leader because when the kids get on the bus, they know how to act.
Right.
You know, your parents aren't around, so they can do whatever. The bus driver can't beat you.
But I like what you just said, though, as it pertains to what we're promoting is good leadership. Because the fact of the matter is, regardless if people want to believe it or not, people who are doing bad things or things that are unmoral, unjust, corrupt, they're leaders too. They're leading people.
Yeah.
And in this country right now, while this country is on pins and needles, you know, for more reasons than one, be it what's happening in America domestically or what we feel is our international actions from what's coming out of the White House. That there are a group of people in this country that's being led. For what it's worth, they're being led. And one of the things we can do, and that's why I like, and I'm pretty sure you've read this book, because you can't read this book. You just can't read it once. You got to continue to get into it. 48 Laws of Power.
Right.
Okay? And 50 got his version, 50 Laws of Power, whatever. Yeah, okay. But my point is, the 48 laws, though, the 48 laws, what I like about that book a lot, it tells you about it, because you got to be in the right mind to really utilize that book and to juice it for what it's worth. Because it tells you about what the harm people are trying to do. It advises you to be aware of what they're trying to do. And it really can teach you to do what it's talking about. But if you're not in the right mindset, you're going to be either one of the two. You're going to be the one who's going to try to use that book to take advantage of people, or you're going to use the book to say, you know what, let me be aware of everyone that's out here trying to take advantage. Or you can use it to fortify yourself in certain instances when you're in hostile environments. And that's something else we're definitely going to get into. Oh, yeah. What do you do as a leader when you're in a hostile environment?
You stay focused. Stay focused.
That's loaded.
You got to stay focused.
That's loaded.
Because I mean, you go back to back to my comment on our, the leader of the free world. The definition of leadership that I taught so many people for so long is, purpose, direction, motivation, yada yada yada, while completing the mission while improving the organization.
Okay.
Improvement, positivity has to be involved, because if you're going backwards, if you're regressing, why do we want to go backwards?
Okay.
So you have to improve, your situation. But being in hostile territory, you're either, the Winston Churchill quote that I like a lot is, when you're going through hell, don't stop.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. You're going to get out of it eventually. Stay focused on the goal. Why did you go in? Why? How did you end up here? Why are you in this hostile area? What change are you trying to affect? What influence are you trying to bring? Because you were destined, ordained, or placed, whatever it may be. You're that leader that's supposed to be in that place at that time. Right. So stay focused and keep going. Keep doing what you're supposed to do. Grow your followership. Grow your influence. Grow your circle. Keep getting people going. Go forward. Forward may not mean actually moving through it. Forward may be growing outward and getting rid of the bad in that hostile and turning that hostile into something that's more agreeable, easy to live with. Stay focused.
Yeah.
Keep working.
Yeah.
Keep working. What is your purpose for being here? Live to your purpose. Work.
Let me tell you this, man. We're down to 5 minutes. And I don't know if I said this earlier, but what I love about what we're doing right now and what we're going to be doing in the future is every Thursday, this show will be airing live from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. drive time hour.
Looking forward to it.
And what I love about it is that we're going to influence all minds. All minds. We're going to challenge and influence people who are in leadership positions of all sorts, okay? Be it ministries, be it corporations, be it schools, whatever the case may be. Be it football teams. We're going to encourage and we're going to fortify and increase young people, middle-aged people, and even elders. I truly believe it because truth will find its way. Truth will penetrate. And because here's the thing. Anybody listening to this podcast, this radio show, what they're going to understand is either I better get with it and increase my leader or I'm going to be exposed. Period. Because, people who are going to listen and learn, they're going to become better.
Right.
And if you don't become better with those people, if you're a person in a leadership position already, they're going to see right through you. They're going to see right through you. And we are in such, because I have so much on me. I know you do too, as it pertains to issues that's going on in life that we need to be talking about. Things we need to be addressing. That from the political realm, from even the realm of entertainment. Because one thing that the common denominator is, we're all people.
Right.
And nobody here, the only way we're aliens is to other species that's not on this planet. Yep. But as of right now, as we see all each other, we're all human beings. So that's the common denominator. And therefore, we all stand in the position to learn and get better. So, I mean, I'm ready to get after it.
That's it. Let's go.
What can we look forward to in the next week?
In the next week, we're gonna dive into answering that question. How do you do it in your space? I mean, the preview is I married a leader, and no matter what I try to do, I married a leader. And we're gonna talk about the community, building those relationships and picking the right people and understanding how you grow your inner circle.
That's what's up.
What influences you to do what you're doing.
That's like 3 topics, man.
Hey, man.
We're going to tackle all that?
We're going to talk about how you do what you do in your space and influence and who you're doing it with, because you can't do it by yourself.
Ooh, I don't know if they're ready to hear how I get down. They go like, man, this dude crazy.
Let's hear it. You don't get to this level by being normal.
You got some good stuff for us, man, to take us out?
I got something for you. We were talking a couple of days ago. You said something, and it just stuck with me. So we're gonna have a little closing segment called an iron supplement. I was like, ooh, that's kind of dope, and I'm stealing it. You did say it, but I'm stealing it.
Get after it, man.
And as iron sharpens iron, so the men sharpen one another. But that iron, is needed in your blood.
Yeah.
You gotta have it in there. You gotta find that iron supplement somewhere else.
Right.
So that iron supplement is our takeaway. And as we leave for our first week, it's very simple. We're talking about having a positive influence, impact on your surroundings. As you go about your week, do what you need to do. Do it well. But don't spend your time in bad company. And most importantly, don't be bad company. As y'all go out about your way, be safe out there. Look out for people. Take care of one another, because we all we got.
That's it. Hey, God bless. DR2020, we out. I mean, good show, bro. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff.